Sophia didn't end up spending the night. So when we picked her up at 4, she was doing really well. We spent like an hour at the park just running around, playing games, lots of fun. She was doing just fine. And we came back to the apartment, we made dinner, we played more games, perfectly fine. And then it becomes 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, okay, it's getting pretty late. We watch a movie around 8 o'clock, so she falls asleep a little bit during the movie, but then she wakes up and the movie ends and she's like, I want to go to bed. Which is weird because Sophia never, ever wants to go to bed. But she says she wants to go to bed. So we take her to bed and we lie in bed. And the moment we lie in bed, she can't stop moving. So she says, Bubba, I want to go to the bathroom. And we've been working on trying to go to the bathroom more. So I take her and we sit on the potty for a couple minutes and read her a book. But she clearly doesn't actually have to go to potty. She just wants something to do. So take her back to the bed. Literally the moment we get in bed, Sophia says, I want to go potty. Can't go potty, so we lay there and a couple minutes go by. Sophia starts to cry and cry and cry, and we hold her close. We put a weighted blanket on her. Barry comes and lays by her, and we do everything we can. We talk to her and she starts falling asleep. And I think just because she was starting to get tired, she was really starting to fall asleep, she got scared and she said, I want mommy, I want daddy, I want mommy, I want daddy. So at the end of the day, we had to give in. We had to call mommy and daddy, and they drove over here and picked her up. So it was a failed experiment in one sense, which isn't great, but we did try it. She didn't end up going to bed for another 2 hours when she got home, so I guess it's good that Emily and I didn't have to stay up that late. I do feel a little bad for my parents because they're supposed to have a night on their own, just sleep and do whatever it is people do when they don't have kids. But overall, I think it was a good time. Maybe next time though we wait until she can sleep in her own bed, because that was hard for her. But I guess it was a good try, so we'll try again soon. So my parents are wonderful people, but as Emily was saying, they are not particularly skilled in the art of cooking. So we decided we would make dinner for them. But we have to bring all of our own food supplies, even spices, because for some reason they don't have spices, because everything they eat is just salt and pepper. And even that's sometimes too spicy. But we will prevail. This meal will be delicious. Right, Emily? So we ended up bringing a lot of stuff, like 2 full bags worth of stuff. But to be honest, these are all necessities because my parents' house never seems to have food, and yet the fridge is always full.
Snacks.
It's just full of snacks and never like food people actually eat for meals. So here's to hoping, again, that this works out. So what are we doing?
We're going to breakfast with your mom.
And then what?
And then we're going to this, like, shoppy mall type of thing.
Shopping mall type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So lunch, and then shopping mall. Have fun.
Have fun.
So remember how I said Emily has no faults except for the fact that she's a bad driver? I said it like a month ago when we were driving all the way to Minnesota. Well, I have a bit of a correction to make. Emily's still a terrible driver. That hasn't changed, but I need to add something to the list. Emily is by far the worst person in the world to talk to on the phone. It's genuinely fascinating that someone like her, who is so smart, so intelligent, just so amazing, can be so bad on talking to the phone. It's like you're talking to a patient who is having a seizure while also being gagged. It's genuinely fascinating and terrifying that this person, who was going to be a doctor in less than 6 months, cannot talk on the phone. And it's genuinely baffling and amazing. And I just wanted to share that with the world, because the world deserves to know that talking on the phone is apparently a quality that has nothing to do with smarts or intelligence or apparently anything. You can just be terrible at it, and you guys, you needed to know that. So we're at the famous Texas Roadhouse, thanks to my cousin Sam. And when we sat down, they asked us if we had ever been to a Texas Roadhouse before.
Have you been here before?
Have you ever been asked that before?
I worked here. Did you have?
Really? Apparently my mom used to work at the Texas Roadhouse. The Texas Roadhouse hooked us up with some free stuff. We will take it. So the shopping place that Emily and I and my mom and Sophia are all going to is a place called Mercantile 37. It's well, it's in the middle of nowhere, which is fine. I mean, it was a bit of a drive. It was like a 30-minute drive out in Strawtown, but apparently this place was on HGTV, so sort of a big deal. So we'll see how this goes. Well, I mean, as far as I can tell, this place it's smaller than we thought it'd be, but it's really cool. So right when we were about to leave to go shopping and lunch and stuff, I asked Emily if I would need my coat, and she said, no, you most certainly won't need your coat. And we have been walking downtown outside in downtown Noblesville, and it is very cold outside. I regret not bringing my coat, and I definitely blame Emily. So if I freeze to death, it's Emily's fault. Emily and I decided that there was no better way to end the day than at a grocery store, so yeah, that's exactly where we are. So overall, good day. We went to a grocery store. So, good day.